always game for that. I don't want to conduct.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call this session of the Planning Commission to order and remind everybody that this is being broadcast on YouTube. We'll go ahead and start with a prayer by Karen Jeffries.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful to meet this day as a Planning Commission. We're grateful to be able to serve in the Orem community, and we're grateful for this city and that we can live in a free land. We pray for blessings upon us as we conduct this meeting, that we will be able to accomplish the business that is before us, and that we can do it with wisdom and the knowledge that we need at this time. We're thankful for this great city and grateful to be here, and we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, everyone.
Item 3.1, this is a public hearing. This is a request to vacate Lot 22 and Lot 23 of Linwood Park Subdivision Plat A, and then approve the final plat of Linwood Park Subdivision Plat C at 1075 South Linwood Drive in the R8 zone, as identified here in the red cross hatching. Total is about 1.44 acres. Currently there are 2 lots there. What the applicant would like to do is take those 2 lots and vacate those 2 lots, then replat the property into a single 1-lot subdivision. No easements have to be vacated with this request. And again, the existing house will be removed, and then he'll come in at a later date for a building permit to construct a house. And this would be the final plat you see here.
Any questions for Mr. Stroud? Is the applicant here representing? Do you have anything to add to that? Pretty simple. Okay. Okay, this is a public hearing. So we'll go ahead and open the public hearing on item 3.1 and invite anybody who would like to speak to this item to step to the microphone. Seeing nobody coming to the microphone, we'll now close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for any further questions. Is anybody ready to make a motion? I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we vacate Lot 23 and Lot 24 of Linwood Park Subdivision Plat A and approve of the final plat of Linwood Park Subdivision Plat C at 1075 South Linwood Drive in the R8 zone. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Karen Jeffries seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, item 3.2.
This is also a public hearing. This is the request to vacate Lot 11 of Palisade Estates Subdivision Plat A and Lot 2 of Palisade Estates Subdivision Plat B, and then approve the final plat of Palisade Estates Subdivision Plat F at 366 North Palisade Drive in the R8 zone. Basically what you have here, the applicant owns both of these lots. They currently live in the house on the south, and they would like to build a new house on the north lot, which is now vacant. And they just need to adjust that common side property line between the 2 lots. Again, no easements are to be vacated with this request, and the house remains.
Okay.
And the subdivision plat would be configured as you see here.
So the easements are being vacated.
Are there
new easements being established?
Just on the easements will exist on the front and the rear. There's a canal easement on the back that's there for the canal that already exists, and then the standard public utility easement along the front. Depending on the years the subdivisions came through, sometimes you'll have side easements on every lot. Sometimes you'll get them on every other lot. We do it on about every other side property line. When this was originally platted here, there was not an easement on this common side property line.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, is the applicant here? Representing? Anything you would like to add?
No, I'm just clarifying that the easement.
Can you step to the microphone and just introduce yourself for us?
I'm David McDougall, the
Okay.
owner of the property. And I guess the drawing does clarify it. It said no easements were being vacated, but the ones on the sides are. And those were all signed and turned in. Is that not right, or am I misunderstanding?
My mistake, I think that was.
Okay.
You have those letters, yes.
So just on the south side of your home and on the north side of the vacant lot, there were easements there that are now being vacated?
Yeah, they were actually in a U shape, and they were all signed off, but
Okay.
you can't build a fence on the easement.
Right.
That was done for that purpose. All of the existing easements all come in from the front because that's where all the utilities are. There's nothing in the back except a hill.
Yeah, the only easements that'll remain are the front and the rear 10-foot canal.
Yeah, and just to clarify too, certain fences you cannot build in an easement. The wood, a vinyl, chain link, those types of fences can go in a public utility easement.
Okay.
If you have to do something with masonry or something with footings or something like that, then you need to vacate those easements.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is a public hearing as well, so we will open the public hearing on item 3.2. If anyone has anything to say about that, if you step to the microphone, please. Seeing nobody stepping to the microphone, we will close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for any further questions. Okay, would anyone like to make a motion?
I can do that.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we vacate Lot 11 Plat A and Lot 2 Plat B of Palisade Estates subdivision and approve the final plat of Palisade Estates subdivision Plat F at 366 North Palisade Drive in the R8 zone.
okay, Mr. Moulton has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Cook has seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 3.3.
Item 3.3 is a public hearing. This is also a recommendation to the city council. This is a request to amend section 221159B3E of the Orem City Code. This pertains to setbacks in the PD 46 zone at 1200 South and 200 East. This is a PD zone that was recently approved not too long ago. It's a townhome development. There are units that are under construction now. The roadway is now complete, and so you can pass through from 1100 South to 1200 South, which you couldn't do prior to this. It contains about 3.4 acres. The city code right now requires the spacing, the setback between units to be 10 feet. When the applicant came in with the subdivision plat, there was actually a notch cut off of one of the units, and I'll show you here. Unit 208. You generally don't build a townhome or really any kind of house or structure with a corner cut off like that. This was done because there's an irrigation line that's there, and they needed to have 10 feet for that irrigation line. This got recorded without the applicant knowing that that's how it was. And obviously he's not going to come and build a unit that he has to shave a corner off of. So what he's done, he's gone to the irrigation company, received approval from the irrigation company to reroute part of the irrigation line and reduce the easement a bit. We do have a letter on file that states that that's okay. So we would amend the ordinance, as you see down there at the bottom, just to say the side setback or the setback between units would be reduced from 10 feet to 6 feet. And this will be the only area that's actually will be affected by that change, or between units 208 and 209.
And is this just for PD 46?
Just PD 46.
Okay, just these units. Okay.
And the applicant will then have to come back in and redo the subdivision plat too. Which once the city council, assuming they approve this, I don't know why they would not, but if say they approve it, then he'll come back in, go through the process to amend the subdivision plat, which then you will then approve.
Basically draw that back out to a
Right,
corner.
right.
Okay.
Isn't that building standing? Or has it
No,
not been started?
No, I caught it when they came in for the building permit.
Oh, okay.
I looked at the plat and said, well, this doesn't,
I thought most of those were in. A good chunk of them are.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Is the applicant here? Do you have anything you would like to add to that? Good to go? Okay, this is a public hearing, so we will open this public hearing on item 3.3. If anybody would like to step to the microphone for any comments. Seeing no one stepping to the microphone, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission. Any other questions, concerns? This is a recommendation to the city council.
I just had a comment. I think it's a nice looking development. I go by there all the time. I think it adds to that neighborhood. It's nice looking.
Nice to see the road connected into.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have the road in too,
I
yeah.
drove down that road. It's nice to be able to just go through there. Yep.
Okay. All right, anybody ready to make a recommendation?
I'll make a recommendation. And make a recommendation that we send a positive motion, a positive,
Positive recommendation.
positive, boy, two recommendations. We'd send a positive recommendation to the city council amending section 22-11-59 B3E of the Orem City Code pertaining to setbacks in the PD 46 zone at 200 East, 1200 South.
Mr. Walker makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Mrs. Jeffries seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Forward recommendation to them. Okay, item 3.4.
Item 3.4 is a site plan approval. This is also going to be a recommendation to the city council. The PD 15 zone requires that a site plan goes to the city council for approval, so you'll then make that motion at the end here. So this will be the request for site plan approval of the villas at Sleep Ridge at 719 South Sleep Ridge Drive in the PD 15 zone. Just go over a few things here. The applicant is requesting 74 townhome units. This developer is the previous developer of the Pheasant Meadows, which is just immediately south of this project, Building Dynamics with Harold and David Irving. They're the ones that completed that project and are now picked up this property from Mr. Kritzer. And then now they're here to request approval for the site plan. This will be the final build out of the PD 15 zone. This is the last piece of property yet to be developed in that zone. The city does own an 8 to 9 acre parcel just to the west of here, which contains probably some wetlands, some rare flower. So most likely that property will never develop. It's probably why it was given to the city by the initial developer of this project of the PD 15 zone. Maximum height out there will be 35 feet. These townhome units are going to be 34 and some change as far as the height goes. Each will have a 2-car garage. The code does require at least half a stall as guest parking, so they will have guest parking stalls out there as well, 37 of those. 1840 West will be completed. This will be a public road. This is always planned to be a public road. The development to the north, Pod C, on their recorded subdivision plat, has the public road stub connection out to the Sleep Ridge Drive, so this will make that final connection through there. The interior streets are then private as well. The applicant was required by the Army Corps of Engineers to restore a wetland area. This is beyond our jurisdiction, it is under federal requirements. They had to restore the wetland that the previous owner took out or damaged. So Army Corps has required them to put that wetland back in place. There is a piece of property right along Sleep Ridge Drive that will be deeded to the city. It really was not needed or could really be used by the applicant for his development, so that will come back to the city. Just a little review, Area C allows up to 8 units per acre. Area C, there are several areas in the PD 15 zone identified as Area C. A lot of those are around the pond. Most of the project to the south, the southwest of this development are all Area C. So when the PD 15 zone started to be developed, we looked at Area C as a whole as far as the density goes. So we didn't look at each development. It says, okay, you've got 5 acres here, you're going to be limited to 40 units then on your 5 acres. We took the entire Area C and said, okay, overall you can do 8 units per acre. So calculating that up, would be about 624 units permitted in Area C. There's 564 that will be there build out. So we're under the 8 units per acre density. We're about 7.42. So roughly about 60 units in theory could still be developed there, but there's really nowhere to put them. So we will be under the 8 units overall for the PD 15 zone in Area C. Density would also be calculated with the pond area. In my calculations here, I did not even take into account the pond. You could use 25% of that area for density. So in reality, the number of units that could be built would actually be greater than what we show here. And this is the aerial then location of the project.
That big area to the west is the area that you see,
Right.
the wetlands area that probably will not have any other.
There could be some wetlands there. It's not identified on the concept plan as a wetland area. There's I believe it's an environmentally sensitive area.
Okay.
It's not identified as wetlands, but I'm sure there's wetlands there. But there's also a rare flower that evidently grows there, and so I assume that's why it was given to the city, because the developer could not build there, the initial developer of the PD15 zone.
Would the city ever go in and do anything with that other than leave it natural?
Probably just leave it natural.
Okay. So access to this is just in that north way?
And the south.
Okay, oh, there we
Right
go.
through.
Yeah, I haven't really studied this one. Okay, there we go. North and south, okay.
So the shaded area, you see that is the public road connection. So it connects from the south to the north, within the interior streets off to the right, to the east, which are private streets.
So is the private streets are just to that east side?
Yeah.
And then this will be a city street?
The shaded.
Plowed and,
shaded-
yeah, this shaded
yes,
area. Okay.
Yes, city maintained.
City main.
City standards, separated sidewalk, curb gutter, sidewalk, landscape strip, yes. So it will be phase 1, phase 2. You can see there's common area, green space as required. All of this does meet the requirements of the PD15 zone. And the elevations consist of hardy board, stone, and stucco. Balconies, relief, pop-outs. Similar units to what they built before.
Is that a basement in some of the?
Yeah, they're putting
They can go-
I'll go through the landscape plan here too. Basically the detailed plan of the landscaping around the units here, and then what's gonna be landscaped overall. You see there, 50% of the net minus public and private roads is required to be landscaped. They'll be at 50.8%. Yes, they will have not a full basement. What that does not meet the definition of a story in our ordinance.
Okay.
So technically that lower level is not a story by our definition.
So are the streets that are private there, are they required to construct to city standards? Like
This was a point of discussion when that changed in the code came, is that what you're getting at, the PRD and the PD?
Right.
Because this was the last project that was out there and it was already kind of in the works, this would go into the old code of not having to have that as all the streets be public standard. So this will be the last one.
Okay, any other questions? Is the applicant here on this project? Oh, same guy. You're back. Do you have anything to add? Or would you like to explain anything more?
No, unless you had a need for any further explanation. This is
Okay.
a 5-year project in the making. We're just really excited about it. So,
Maybe you had to come up and just mention your name. I had more a comment or I guess a question.
I'm Dave Irving. It's nice to meet you guys.
Yeah. Is this, how's this look compared to what you've built up behind Volkswagen? Is this a similar look?
Patterned after the same look.
Oh, it looked nice then. Great. That's
I
good.
think the units up in behind Volkswagen, I think they had to cut off a foot or so to get things to fit. But
Yeah.
Same idea.
What was the idea with, I mean, the basement, you get another story for free. Well, not for free, but at a lesser cost. But are they up in the air like that halfway because of a water table, or is that the look you're after
Yeah, we're trying to avoid any issues
with flooding?
with flooding. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're getting close to,
yeah.
yeah.
So we do a footing and a foundation regardless. So this actually allows us to use that space.
Good.
They'll be sold.
They will be sold.
Okay.
Yep. We have a decent sized reservation list and quite a few people that are excited. So
Is this the only area down in Sleepy Ridge that you have been involved in developing?
we did the
The other one, Pheasant.
area just south of.
Okay, so this area kind of connected in, same idea. Okay.
yeah, that area there in the red, that was
Gotcha.
Pheasant Meadows, which they developed previously.
I take it you're going to start right away, get the permits and get going.
Yeah, so we'll meet with the city council and then we'd like to get going as soon.
I mean, that's your
Get
plan.
forwarded, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't show this as a public hearing, so this is just amongst us.
You're more than welcome to see if
Site plan. Any other questions on this? Do you have any concerns or anything? Is anyone ready to make a motion on any of this?
No, let me, one other quick, just go back to I had this diagram. This would be the wetland remediation there on the north side that the Army Corps is requiring them to put back into its original state.
North side of,
So do
Where's
the
that?
cattails exist, or does he have to put them back in?
I think once if the water's there, I think they'll naturally.
They'll naturally
find-
come back. Okay, I'm looking at that and I'm just thinking, boy, that sounds fun to plant that like that.
so
Yeah.
that's just along the stream area there,
Oh, brother.
existing wetlands. So they'll just kind of redo that stream area.
Yes.
There north,
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the original owner destroyed it, removed it, whatever it may have been.
right?
And so Army Corps said that's still our jurisdiction as a wetland area. We need to restore that back to what it was, the original state.
Okay. All righty. Well, looks like it's ready to go. Any other questions? Would anyone like to make a motion? This is a recommendation to the council.
I've got it too.
Go ahead, I just don't have it.
Okay. Make a motion, we send a positive recommendation to the city council for the approval of the villas at Sleepy Ridge at 719 South Sleepy Ridge Drive in the PD-15 zone.
Mr. Walker makes a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Moulton has seconded that. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, item 3.5.
Item 3.5 is a request for revised site plan approval of Midtown 360 at 360 South State in the PD-23 zone. Project we're all familiar with. The applicant came through not too long ago and requested concept plan change. He wanted to plan for the future to put more buildings out along Orem Boulevard, split the building up from what it was originally proposed as. So they're backing out today for the formal site plan approval of those two buildings. So currently right now, the northwest tower would have 104 units, then the southwest would have 144. 286 units currently exist in the existing towers. With those number of units, 978 parking stalls are required, 1036 are provided. That will be on the surface parking as well as structured parking under the building and lower levels. The height of the proposed buildings would go between 48 to 50 feet. That would be the top of the highest parapet. So the actual living ceiling height, if you'd call it that, is actually lower than that. You can't go to 96 feet in this zone. There are limitations to that. However, a certain percentage of the elevations can only be a certain height. But so this is well under any of those limitations. So going 4 stories, the first story will be sunk a little bit into the ground. And then they will include 71,000 plus square feet of landscaping with elevations of brick, metal, plaster, and glass. And again, the property identified here. And the two buildings you see there in the shading identified as Phase 3, Phase 4, and Phase 2A is also involved in this, but the buildings are 3 and 4. Those are the buildings that are subject to this site plan approval tonight.
There was something in here about sharing parking with Pet Boys.
Yeah, they've got a shared parking agreement with for 40 stalls, I believe it is. Even without that parking, they still meet
Still meet.
the parking requirements, yes.
And so it looks like they can enter in the Pet Boys entrance and then enter into the,
Right.
in there.
You can come
ground
through
park.
further off State Street as well. You could come in off 400 South, come in off the boulevard.
You can come in off 400 South right there, okay. Is there space to put in a turn lane there? Is that kind of what we see?
Yeah, there'll be a turn pocket, yes.
Will they have to do that, or is that something the city's going to do? As part of that site plan?
The right turn lane that you see there, the pop out on the site plan is for a right turn lane at Orem Boulevard,
Right.
eastbound to northbound. The requirement for that is for the developer to put that in at Phase 4. So they can go ahead and put the Phase 3 building in without it, but when Phase 4 goes in, they'll be required to put in that right turn deceleration lane.
Okay.
Wasn't that there before when we approved this some time ago, that right turn lane?
It was,
Like,
that
a long time.
was along with the original zone
Yeah.
to go there even,
Yeah.
10-plus years ago. That was there, and as the project has kind of gone through its different phases and planning process, that requirement was kept with
Yeah,
the.
it needs to stay. Didn't we also approve a height adjustment on this originally? Some time ago?
No.
Anybody remember on that?
On the north tower that we went in on.
Well, we did, yeah, the north tower when they put the elevator
north-
on, but I thought we did the back street too, because there was concern about the shadow.
When the concept plan came through, these
That's
units,
no problem with.
yeah, these units were actually a story higher. The applicant removed a story
Okay.
from these units.
Yeah.
They could go at least one more story if they wanted
Yeah.
to.
And there's also a right turn lane in there to the entrance, just north of where it says Phase 4. That will be a right turn lane, kind of a deceleration there on the
Yes.
boulevard.
Yes.
Yes,
Built
that's
in.
correct.
Will they have any kind of they can turn left and right out of there?
As you're exiting yes, you can turn left or right in exclusive turn lanes coming out of the project.
Okay.
And because of the reduction in height of the buildings and fewer units, there was an access on the north end of the project that was able to be eliminated.
Right.
Now, if for some reason they decide to go back to the additional story,
Right.
that will need to be added back to the project.
Okay.
And here are the elevations. See here. This will be the northwest building, so the one on the north end of the project along the boulevard, and then that on the south. Excuse me, that's still the north. This would then be the representation. This is, you're looking southerly off the boulevard, so this would be the northwest building you see here. And the elevations of the southwest. This gives the color gives a better perspective there. Then this is looking northerly on the boulevard.
Is there still talk of putting, eventually, a tracks line down the middle of that? And how would that affect, where this is built out so close to the road, how does that affect that? Or is that just kind of
In the State Street Master Plan process, we decided to keep, if there's any future tracks or BRT or whatever, that would be on State Street rather than Orem Boulevard. We did consider that. We did kind of bounce that idea back and forth, but it really didn't stick.
Okay. That's a good thing. Okay.
And the landscape plan around the buildings, grass, shrubs, trees. You can see in the perspective there of what the end product would be.
Okay.
Are there any
Any other-
questions?
Yeah, any other questions from anybody on any of this? Are these all going to be managed by the same company, building 1, 2, 3, 4, or the phases, I guess? Do you know?
The last I heard, the most recent discussion was back at the concept plan stage.
Okay.
And when they amended the plat to basically condominiumize floors, that they still wanted to maintain full ownership of everything.
Okay, so full ownership would be managed by them and it just,
Of course, that could always change, but
right,
that was the last word I heard.
okay. Okay, is the applicant here on this project? Would you like to step to the microphone and answer that question, maybe? State your name, please.
I'm Ryan Ritchie with the Ritchie Group,
Okay,
and the answer to your question is they'll be managed by the same management company. Alliance currently manages the property, and they'll continue to manage that.
okay,
Yeah, and no plans to sell condominiums, just all apartments.
is that phase 1 and 2 are both that same idea?
That's correct. Yeah, we're about a month away from having both those buildings finished.
Okay.
And, so we're in full lease up on much of the buildings right now. So that's the 286 units will be done here about a month. So.
I'd like to throw in an idea that maybe we do a tour of that sometime. I would like to.
Oh, we'd love
see
to
what
do
they're
that.
Doing
Yeah, you'll love it. It's turned out really nice.
down there. It's
Yeah.
been there for so long.
Yeah, yep.
That it would be nice to see it.
We'd love to show you.
Is the south tower still similar on the inside? I guess it's that open concept on the inside.
It is. And so
We did pour it a long time ago, but I'm like you, I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, north is different with different, similar finishes, but different coloration inside the building. And then the units all been kind of, we finished the south units a very different style than what had been built as condominiums. And now the north is being matched to the south with the finished units. And so we'd love to show you what we're doing. They look really great.
So these buildings will probably be finished a little different.
Well, they'll have the similar finished materials.
Okay,
So we're trying to bring it together.
right.
That's the goal. And so what you'll see eventually is the south tower, we're going to recolor the south tower. You notice that the west end units or the west end finishes are similar to the north end finishes.
Right,
And so now we're going to finish the coloration around the rest of the building at the end of the project.
okay,
Just all budget reasons, but we're getting
Right.
there. Yeah.
okay.
Any kind of a time frame on the phases?
Yeah, we'll have, we've gone out to bid on this phase, and when we break ground, I'd expect we'll break ground within the next 3 to 4 months on this west end, and
The 2A?
it'll be delivered, 2A, 3, and 4 will actually be delivered as one contract.
Oh, wow.
It's about a 19 to 20-month process to finish all of it,
Sure.
so soon enough. Maybe,
Sure makes Orem Boulevard look a little grown up on that backside, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
Orem Boulevard's been just kind of a little byway.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone ready to make a motion for the city council? This is, or no, excuse me. This is actually, we are the final
This?
authority on this, yes.
I'll make a motion
Okay, Mr. Cook is ready to make a motion.
that we approve the amended site plan of the Midtown 360 development at 360 South State Street in the PD 23 zone.
Mr. Cook has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bolton has seconded that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, item 3.6.
Item 3.6 is also a request for site plan approval. This would be a revised site plan / preliminary plat for Ken Garf Honda Volkswagen at 115 East University Parkway. Actually occupies 2 zones, the C2 zone and the PD5 zone. As shown on the map here in the red cross hatching. The east side would be the Honda side. The west side would then be the Volkswagen side. They'd like to remodel these buildings, tear down some square footage, add additional square footage, give it a facelift, and just to improve the looks of what's there now. They will then come in for a final 2-lot subdivision plat, which would then be approved by staff. You will not see that subdivision plat. Each building will be 26 to 30 feet high. The zone there allows up to 60 feet, so well under what they can do. Materials of concrete, IFAS, and glass as far as the materials on the elevations. Landscaping along University Parkway, that will be a little in flux because we're working with UTA and the BRT project, and so that may change down the road as far as the landscaping goes. The Honda building is at 32,595 square feet currently. They will go to 37,192. They will tear a portion of that 35,000 down and then rebuild more than what's there now. And then again, they'll demo 14,000 plus square feet. And the VW building will stay at 22,000 square feet. Property identified here in the outline. So the elevations of the Honda building. And the top would be what you see from the parkway. I would put that elevation in the wrong spot. Do the site plan here, then go back to the elevation. So the site plan you see here, the Honda building on the right, the VW building on the left. Go back to the elevation that of Honda.
Dave, can you go back to that site plan? This plan shows the car wash up in the upper corner. That is not on the site plan for your approval at this point. The one that's in your packet doesn't show that. They'll come back at another time to do the car wash. So the 2 buildings are what you're approving tonight.
Okay. I couldn't have told you that was a car wash anyway.
They're working with the neighbor, that property just to the west of that location where they like to have the car wash. There's the Ken Garf boundary goes through the neighbor's driveway, down the middle of the neighbor's driveway. So they're working together right now to get that boundary line resolved and then put fencing up there as required by the ordinance.
So most likely that'll be administrative because it's less than the 10%. So you probably will not see that in the future.
So the Honda elevation and then an oblique view of it. And the VW building. Because, you know, if you probably know the Audi, Porsche Audi, they went up to Lehigh. They built a new facility up there.
They need to
So
be
they-
bigger up there, I
yeah.
know that. Yeah, okay, so they'll take the Porsche Audi out of there. You'll have to go up to Lehigh to buy your.
I'm already having to do Alpine, yes.
Okay,
Are there any questions?
There it is.
any questions at all?
We talked about BRT, but I assume there'll still be a requirement there for some shade trees,
Yeah, we're going to,
decorative trees.
the plan right now would be trees in grates, tree grates. So we
Like sidewalk style.
yeah, we will still have landscaping there.
Because, I mean, right now, there are no trees there, as I remember. Very few, if any,
Yeah.
across the front.
Yeah, we'll have some trees and grates.
Good, good. Yeah, I mean, because that road, where there's trees, where there's landscape down that road, it's not a bad look.
They may be clustered, they may be spaced out 50, we don't know at this point, but yeah, it will not be void of landscaping when all is said and done with BRT.
I know as a business, it'd just as soon not having, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean,
Visibility,
Their product are the cars, and so they obviously,
Yeah.
their case, they like.
well, and building visibility, all the places like to be seen, but, you know, the beautification aspect.
Will that be a sidewalk? Will they finally put a sidewalk in there too?
Yes, yes, there'll be sidewalk.
Sidewalk, okay. I don't think there is one there now.
I don't know, do you recall what the current plan is now for the landscaping there?
What the BRT project will provide per our lease agreement, the city's lease agreement with UTA, is there'll be street trees along the frontage of all properties and a 6-foot wide sidewalk.
After the trees. So trees closest to the road and then the sidewalk?
Sometimes the trees are in front of the sidewalk, sometimes they're behind.
So we walk like this? Yeah, okay, so at least we have a sidewalk there, that's good.
So the sidewalk will be most
There's a
likely
sidewalk,
straight,
I think.
but the trees will alternate. So you won't be zigzagging. It'll be a
There's a
straight line. The trees will just be either front or back.
We haven't finalized the plan here along the Garf property, but there's a good possibility that the trees will be behind the sidewalk.
Okay.
In areas where we have a little bit more room to work, there are some areas that we have a maximum 10-foot wide park strip
Okay.
with the trees in that, and then the sidewalk behind that park strip. But in some locations where, for instance, the retail sales basically come up right to the road, we're working on options for the street trees to be placed behind the sidewalk.
So, okay, so they're all on board with that and figured that you guys will work through that one as it comes in.
Yep, we're working on that. In fact, we had a meeting just right before this meeting, so we're still trying to finalize those designs.
Okay. Okay, is the applicant here? Would you guys like to step to the microphone and answer any questions, or if you give us your name, that would be great.
My name's Garrett Timmerman, and I'm the architect that has been hired by the Ken Garf Automotive Group. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, do we have any questions for him?
Are you tearing down, I was trying to look at the plans and figure that out because I've been there quite a bit, but
Sure.
good customer.
Thank you.
But are you tearing down the old Porsche Audi stuff, or is that going to just be remodeled in?
No, so on the building, the existing building to the east,
Which was the old Washburn building.
if
Yeah, it was
that's fine.
Nissan.
Okay.
A long time ago, Datsun, probably.
So right now, as it stands, there's a Volkswagen, Porsche, and Audi showroom. And so that entire showroom of the facility will be completely demolished. Now, the existing shop and parts area to that building will remain.
Oh, okay.
Then we will add on to that existing shop and parts building and build the new Honda showroom and customer amenity areas.
And then the Volkswagen will just move to the existing Honda building?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and what we're looking to do on that one is do more of a cosmetic facade upgrade.
Okay.
so that we can illustrate the Volkswagen branding elements on the south face of that building.
Yeah, so service there.
You're adding square footage to that building, though, are you not?
We are not.
You're not. It's staying the same size.
So there will be a little bit of demolition on that south facade, taking away the Honda barrel element and then adding the new Volkswagen frame elements. So I mean, plus and minus is going to be very minimal, but
Okay.
in general, that footprint will generally stay the same.
That was the newer building anyway.
It is.
I mean, the other one's been there for a long time.
Okay.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? We are the final approving authority on this site plan. Anyone ready to make a motion? We don't have any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we approve the preliminary plat and sign plan of the Ken Garff Honda and Volkswagen facility remodel at 115 East University Parkway in the C2 and PD5 zones.
Carrie Jeffries has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Walker seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, item 4.1, we will make a motion, I will make a motion to continue that until a later date.
It's actually August 3rd.
Oh, August 3rd? Okay, we'll make a motion to continue item 4.1 until August 3rd. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Dave seconds that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, on to the minutes. Did anybody see any problems with the minutes? Meeting was June 15th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes of the June 15th Planning Commission meeting.
Okay, Mr. Cook makes the motion. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, is there a director's update? Or any other info? No info. Next meeting is August 3rd, I think, so. Okay,
Just as it was mentioned, at least in our car coming back from the tour, we'll, at some point in the near future, we'll set up a tour also for the new office building at University Parkway at the mall.
oh,
Somebody, I think Karen brought that up. That'd be a good one, so I'll get in touch with the mall people and see if we can set up a time for that to go through. And then we'll also pencil in some time for, with the Ritchie Group, to do the north and south tower.
yeah,
360.
that'd be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be good.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything else? It's time to adjourn. Who would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, Dave makes the motion to adjourn. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, okay, thank you.